my God. Sorry for the technical difficulties, everyone, but it happens.
Yes. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank God you made it through the technical difficulty.
I
For a
know.
moment, I thought this interview wouldn't
No, no,
be pushing through because of the VPN or server stuff going on
I
between
was
the
so
internet
excited
connection of our countries.
for this. I was so excited for this interview because it's my first Instagram Live and interview for 2022. And I'm so happy that I get to do it with you because you've been supporting me since the beginning. So I'm very excited.
Yes, yeah. So actually, days after, like 2 days after, you placed in, 2 days after the finals, immediately sent a message to your national director, Miss Valerie. I kept telling her, Miss Valerie, I want to speak with her. I need to talk to her. But then
Yes,
I assume you still probably had your vacation afterwards. Then you had your quarantine, right? So
yes.
yeah,
So
that's why it's pushing through.
yes, yes. I mean, I had to come back to Singapore. I had to do a 7-day quarantine. And then after that, I was spending time with my family because I hadn't seen them in a while. And even before I went to Israel, I was so busy that I would leave my house in the morning and come back very late at night. I didn't get to, talk with my parents that much because everyone was so busy. So I decided, you know what, Miss Universe has finished. I'm going to spend time with my family. I'm going to make the year end on a very happy note. And I actually didn't check Instagram for like 2 weeks because I just wanted to spend time with my family and like have quality time with them. So I only came back once the year started again.
So you did not stay longer in Israel after the competition ended.
Now I stayed for 1 day to explore Tel Aviv a little bit, but I came back after that because there's the virus going on, so we wanted to stay safe and make sure that everyone is healthy and happy.
That's great. That's great. So before anything else, as I've said earlier, I want to give a huge shout out to Miss Valerie Lim for making this interview possible. Thank you, Miss Valerie Lim, for being so patient in answering all my follow up texts about Miss Nandita here. Thank you so much. You don't know how you are making so many pageant fans happy right now just by gracing your presence with us right now. Wait, before we begin with the interview, can you give a huge shout out to everyone who's tuning in? There are currently 200, there are almost 250 people watching us right now. So, yeah.
Of course,
So,
of course. So yeah, everyone watching, thank you so much for watching and supporting. I mean, I'm reading all the comments that are coming in right now who are asking me, how's Bea? Telling me congratulations. I'm just so happy that even though the competition has ended, people are still supporting me. People are still excited to see, what is going on and just supporting me in my life. I'm so happy that all of you are here. And I wish I could, speak to every single one of you, but that would that means I'll be busy for the entire year. So we can't do that. So we're here, we're speaking to Adam, and he will take all your questions. He'll ask me all the questions you want to ask me. And I'm just so excited to be here with all of you.
yeah. So, wait, before I proceed with the questions, wait, can you give a message? Can you do a simple greet to my friend here? His name is Sian. He's one of your biggest fans here in the Philippines. He said he'll kill me if I don't ask you this request before before we begin with the interview. Can you give him a huge shout out because he will screenshot or screen record this whole thing for
Oh,
his
wow.
heart's
Wow.
delighted
Okay.
content.
Okay. What's his name again?
Sian.
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 Sia.
Xian.
Siah.
XI, letter X.
Xiah. Okay. Sia.
Yeah.
Okay, understand. Got it. Sometimes it's hard to hear names and the correct pronunciation. So, Sia, I hope you're watching. I'm so excited to have you as my supporter. I really love all my supporters. I really do. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. So, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for supporting. And don't threaten Adam. I will respond to you. Don't worry. You don't have to be mean to. Thank you so much for watching. And I just want to tell you to stay happy, stay safe, and take care for the rest of the year. Take care of yourself, take care of your loved ones, and just be happy throughout the year. That's all I can say. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you. Oh, Macy Lord is also watching, one of the huge pageant fans here.
Oh,
Hi,
hello.
Nandita. Oh my God, she's saying. And then a lot of people from Vietnam are also tuning in. So let me pin some of their comments, like someone here. Um,
Mabuhay to everyone. That's what I know from.
You know what, guys? Okay, someone's asking here from Cerulean Bunny. Please do a live. Oh, he's requesting you if you could eventually do a live with Miss Philippines Beatrice and Miss Vietnam Kim in the
We're
next few
already
days or
planning that.
weeks.
We're already planning that. Don't worry. It's just everyone's been a bit busy, especially Bea with the hurricane. She has been doing some relief efforts. She's been, helping out the people of Cebu. So she's been a little bit busy, which is why. And Miss Vietnam Kim, she got COVID recently, so she's been
Oh,
recovering from that. So everyone has been a little bit busy, and that's why we have decided to do a live in February, maybe in the early weeks of February. So I will post about this. Don't worry, we are planning this. You don't have to. I see everyone's comments. Everyone's always asking you do a live, do a live. We are planning it. It's just everyone's been a little bit busy in January, so everyone's taking a break. Everyone's with their family, and then we'll do some lives together.
okay. I can't wait for that. But can you send my regard and get well soon message
Of
to
course.
Miss Vietnam. Yeah, I hope she's recovering well. Everyone's getting sick here in the Philippines. We're I feel like we're almost one short away from having a lockdown because
Again,
yeah,
yeah.
we
Even in
our
Singapore, there's
cases here are
a lot of
going up
cases.
by the day.
Yeah, I feel
We're
you.
almost reaching 40,000 cases.
It's crazy. But we just have to do our best. If you haven't gotten your third vaccine, if you still have to get your vaccines, get vaccinated. Stay home as much as you can and keep yourself happy, because mental health is also very important. Because if we just keep reading negative news, we will become so sad and frustrated with our lives. So I think everyone's realized the importance of mental health, especially in the pandemic. Everything has changed so much. So keep happy, keep safe, and be with your loved ones as much as you can, because you never know what might happen.
Exactly. And you know what? You said it right. We really have to think things that will make us happy during this very difficult time. And one of the happiest things that I did while we are having this miserable COVID-19 situation is watching the replay of Miss Universe finals over and over again. Yeah. So how has it been? Like, have you realized it's been exactly a month after that? Wow, wow, beautiful
I know.
finals night. So, has it sunk in yet that you have made such a huge history for your country?
I think it's slowly getting like it's slowly sinking in that this is something that hasn't happened in, like I said, on stage 34 years. Singapore hasn't been able to make it on that stage to top 16, top 21, whatever it might be, to the semifinals. And when I reacted on stage, the camera was on me, and immediately people saw my very authentic reaction. I was like, oh my God. And some people were asking me, did you not expect to make it to top 16? Why did you look so surprised? And I mean, Singapore hadn't made it in so long that even though I was hoping and praying that I wanted to get to top 16, in my heart, I was thinking, would Singapore actually make it? Because it's been so long. We haven't made it in so long. So that's why my reaction was so authentic. It was genuine surprise that all the hard work I had put in actually made it. So now it's sunk in that I see that Singapore can actually make a difference, because sometimes we think that the top five or the top 16 or whatever will always be the popular countries, or the countries with the big sash factor. So now I think I've been able to change that perception that anyone from any country can make it, as long as you work hard, you put in the effort, and you're confident, you're outgoing. So I think it's really sunk in that um, I I would like to say I'm a bit different. Maybe it's really helped me boost my ego as well, and my not my ego, my confidence. Sorry, it's helped to boost my confidence. I'm really happy, and I'm excited to see what I can do from here from now on.
Exactly. I want to pin this comment. Shelly says, you speak so
Mm-hmm.
confidently. That's why you have power and you deserve it. That's why you made it to top 16. I couldn't
Oh,
agree more. I
thank you
couldn't
so
agree
much,
more.
so much.
So for the record, you're the third Singaporean
Mm-hmm.
to make it to the semifinals of Miss Universe after Kate Kathleen Lee Bien in 1983 and
Mhm.
Miss Marion Teo in 1987. So, wow, how does it feel
Been a
like,
long
following
time.
on how does it feel like following on those footsteps? Do you realize you'll now be forever remembered by your country, in as much as how Joseph Schooling must probably, you know, um, making everyone proud there in your country. Now, when it comes to beauty pageants, they'll be talking the same breath about you.
I mean, it's something that I didn't expect at all. I mean, if you asked me in the beginning of 2021, in like January, do you think I would be at Miss Universe representing Singapore? I would say, what are you talking about? I would laugh at you because I wouldn't have thought it was possible. But, there's always opportunities that come our way that we don't expect. And it's important to just grab them and take them and see where life takes you. So that's why, I mean, you asked, how do I feel about that? It's been so long, and I'm so grateful that I get to walk in the footsteps of these women who represented our country, and not just, all the way from 1987. I'm proud to represent Singapore and walk in the footsteps of every girl that's represented Singapore in the past years. 2020, Bernadette Bell; 2019, Mohana. Like, I don't think we should be forgetting these strong women because they didn't make it to semifinals. I think as Singaporeans, and for the people and the women of Singapore especially, even the Miss Universe Singapore candidate who goes out every year is so powerful and so strong. We don't have to look all the way back to 1987. We have a strong and powerful women going out every single year. And I'm just so glad I get to be a part of that.
That's nice. So, what sort of messages have you been receiving from your public ever since you arrived there in Singapore a few weeks ago?
I think in Singapore, people are definitely surprised because Singapore hasn't made it to semifinals in so far, so I don't think they were expecting anything different. So when I did make it to semifinals, they were all shocked and surprised, just like I was. So I've been receiving a lot of support, a lot of encouragement, especially from my friends and family and all the photographers and the makeup artists and all the teams that we've worked with. And I'm so grateful for all their support, especially my designers, Frederick Lee, all the photographers like Jeff Chang. So I'm just so grateful for all the support. And now everyone is excited to see how I will be contributing to the next batch of Miss Universe Singapore, and hoping that we can continue this placement, streak. That it's not just
Yeah.
a just one-time thing. Hopefully, it happens again and again and again. And
Yes.
maybe Singapore will become the next strong Sash Factor country. Who knows? So that's what
Yes,
I'm
yes. I
hoping
think
for.
Miss Valerie Lim is doing something right,
Mhm.
because even last edition with the candidacy of Bernadette Bell, your predecessor, I think she also made a huge impression there
Yeah.
with her gown, with her performance in prelims, with her NATCOS, with that statement, Stop Asian Hate Cape. I think that was really brilliant. So
Yeah.
yeah, she must really be doing something right. And I feel she also did the right thing when she asked you to cut your hair. Because let's face it, when you were crowned Miss Universe Singapore, you were still
I had long
sporting
hair.
very long hair.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I noticed you, part of Miss Singapore's transformation is always having a great hair transformation as she prepares for Miss Universe, especially with you with your pixie cut. So I wonder what's the story behind it? What's the
So
inspiration behind your pixie cut?
I think you made a very right observation that every Miss Universe Singapore cuts her hair off before she leaves, and it's all part of the transformation. I feel, because before you win the crown, you are just a regular girl. You're a contestant, but once you win the crown, you now have this new role, and you must transform not only within. You must be more confident, you must be more inspiring, but you also have to transform physically so that you feel different. If you have the same look as before, I personally feel that if I had the same look as before, I would feel the same as before. So I decided, along with Miss Valerie Lim and our creative director, Mr. Daniel Bowie, we all decided that if we cut my hair off, I will be more confident and it will showcase my face better. So that's why I wanted to go through that physical look transformation, because that would make me really feel like I'm Miss Universe Singapore, and make me feel like I stand out from the crowd. Because I mean, if you've seen the pictures, everyone has long, beautiful hair, but
Yes.
I stand. You can immediately spot me with my short hair. So I think that was a transformation for myself, but also a little bit of a strategic move.
So there was no resistance from your end to have it chopped off,
Actually,
because yeah.
Actually, I was a bit worried in the first when they first suggested it to me. I was a bit worried because I always thought that pageants was for girls with long, beautiful hair, because it's feminine, it's like a womanly thing. And so I was a bit scared. I thought, what if I cut my hair off and I look like my brother or like my dad? So I was a bit scared at first, but my hairstylist Leong and the rest of the team, they always comforted me and told me that we see something in you, and we see that if you cut your hair off, it will definitely work. So they were very encouraging, and that helped me to just throw my fears aside and just go for it, because I also wanted to be more of a risk taker, to like grab opportunities when they come. Because I feel like every girl thinks of it, where at some point in their life they think, what if I cut all my hair off? Every girl thinks about this, but we're always scared to try it, because we don't know what people will say. We're scared of what people will think. So I decided, you know what? Let's just do it. Let's just see what happens. And here we are. I mean, it looked great, and I trust my team. So I'm really thankful for this decision that they made. That I should cut my hair. And it really worked out. So I'm very happy.
Yeah, and look at there's a comment here from the Elaine Russell. She says, Nandita changing standards. Yeah, and yeah, look at the result. People keep comparing you to Halle Berry. You're the Asian Halle Berry. Have you been
I've
have
got
you
that
been
so
noticing those
many
comments?
times. So many times people have compared me to Halle Berry. And also Henny from Vietnam, I think
Yes,
2019, she was in the
18.
top, 2018, she was in the top five. So she was my inspiration actually for the hair. My creative director, Daniel Bowie, he saw her walk, and he noticed that she was very fierce. She was very edgy, and she stood out from the crowd in 2018, simply because of her hair and her very edgy look. So she was actually a very strong inspiration for the hairstyle, along with Halle Berry. So these were our two inspirations that we had.
I feel like all the Vietnamese fans watching us will really love you more with what you
And
just said. That
just for
you
the
had
Vietnamese fans,
Penny as one of your
yes,
inspirations for your Miss Universe journey. So I assume you wouldn't be growing your hair in the meantime, because
I think
you
I think
got
for
more.
now I won't grow my hair. I'll keep it like this for maybe a year, because I'm quite enjoying it. But we'll see. Maybe after 1 year, I think I want to do something different. So maybe something different will happen then. But you will see me with the short hair for about maybe a year. And I also want to say a little fun fact for the Vietnamese fans. So because I was so close to Miss Vietnam Kim, she made a phone call, or I think she was texting Henny, because they are also very close. And apparently Henny said that she really liked my hair and she liked my look. And I felt so happy when Miss Vietnam this year told me that, because I mean, to have the person who was my inspiration say that to me, I was in shock. Apparently she really liked the look, and I told her to tell her that she was my inspiration. So yeah, I think Henny has seen my hair and she really likes it. So that's a little fun fact with the Vietnamese fans.
So this was after Miss Universe.
During Miss Universe.
Oh, June. Oh, wow. All the more you were all pumped up to perform your best because you got
Yes, yes.
so inspired. Yeah, let's talk about Miss Vietnam later. I really have so many questions about them. Let's just, focus more about yourself first as you prepared for the competition. I'm really trying to enjoy this whole thing. I asked Miss Valerie, can I ask for an 1 hour interview maximum? But I have a feeling we will go beyond 1 hour just because of all these questions all these fans are wanting to ask you right now. So, apart from the hair transformation, we got it all covered. You decided to
Mhm.
go Asian Halle Berry for Miss Universe as one of your strategies. So I'm curious to ask now, how did you train for the pageant? Because you got crowned last October,
September.
end of September, yeah, end of September. And then, of course, you only had what, like
We had
less than 2 months to
two
prepare.
months.
So I
Yeah.
wonder which aspect of the competition did you focus more?
So for me, I thought that I was relatively good at speaking well. I could answer questions, and even during the Miss Universe Singapore national pageant, my national director Valerie Lim, she shared that what made me stand out from the rest of the girls was that I was able to answer the final question really well. So I was, although I did prepare for the interview and for the interview questions, the main area that I was focusing on was my catwalk because I had never done a pageant before this. I didn't know what a pageant catwalk was supposed to be like. And I was watching all these YouTube videos and I was getting nervous because I was thinking, can I really do that? Can I really be like Zoe or Andrea or all the previous Miss Universe? Can I be that? Can I be like that? So I was getting a little nervous. So what I focused on, along with the Philippines team, because Jonas,
Philippines team.
yeah, so we worked with the Philippines team. So Jonas was helping Miss Valerie Lim with Mama J, as I think everyone calls him. So he was helping Valerie and me as well. He gave me some advice. He told me what I can do better, and we worked with a runway coach from the Philippines. His name is Louis. So he had one-to-one sessions with me about 2 or 3 times, I think, and we ran through. We did some choreography, how I should be walking, how I should hold myself up higher, and the face I should be giving, the way I should be walking, and I was really excited for those because it's the first time I got like a pageant walk training. So I was really excited for that. It took a lot of effort. People think that walking is easy and that I know how to walk. Anyone can walk. People might think, but it's actually you have to focus a lot. You have to use a lot of strength to walk in a very confident manner. So that's something I focused on. That's what the bulk of the preparation went into the walk, and for both swimsuit and for the evening gown, because my evening gown was very unique, which I think we'll talk about
Yes.
later. So it's not as easy as a normal walk. We have to specifically plan how would I walk for this evening gown. So there was a lot of like planning and preparation for the walks. And I think for the interviews, I trained with a Filipino professor in Singapore. His name is Dr. Jean. He's an English professor. So
Oh.
he compiled all these previous Miss Universe questions, and he would just throw them at me and ask me, "What's my answer? What's my answer?" So there was no break. He would just ask me different questions from the previous Miss Universe, questions that they have. And he said that because I spoke well, I think I didn't need that much of training for the speaking part, but I just needed to remember to be confident and to not fumble, to not, be nervous when I'm answering. It's just about how you answer, not what you answer. So that's what was the advice that they gave me. So that was how we prepared. I also had to learn how to do my makeup and my hair because before this I didn't do my makeup at all. But now I can do, I would say, a generally good makeup. So that's something I had to learn as well. So a lot of things to prepare when you're going for a pageant. So if anyone watching is thinking, I want to join a pageant, or I want to be the next Miss Universe Singapore, Vietnam, or Philippines, you have to put in a lot of work. So just be ready for that, and push through, put in the hard work, and I think you'll hit your goals.
There's a comment here,
Mhm.
I just keep staring at you every time you answer. I pinned it. When Nandita speaks, she makes everyone listen. There's a strong yet genuine command with the way she speaks. She's not
Mhm.
pretentious. She's sincere with her actions. A queen indeed.
Thank you so much, Cerulean Bunny. I wish I knew your real name, but that is the sweetest comment I've ever seen. I'm so happy that you feel that way about the way I speak, because I genuinely try to be a very authentic person. I don't like faking it. I don't want to be perfect for the camera. I want to be myself, and I want other people to see that you don't have to be perfect to do things like Miss Universe or like do anything in your life. You can just be yourself. You don't have to be picture perfect. Because we see all these Instagram influencers who have like perfect houses, perfect skin, perfect hair, and you see my hair is not. It's not like perfect. It's not amazing. My skin, I have pimples, I have acne, but it's really about being true to yourself and being genuine and having deep conversations with the people around you. I think that's the most important. So that's why I love doing interviews, because I love like making friends and having fun conversations with like hosts, like especially like Adam. So I wouldn't, I wouldn't want it any other way. I think it's very important. All of us are genuine and kind and authentic to ourselves. So that comment really meant a lot to me. I'm sorry I went off track a bit from your interview questions, but it really meant a lot to me.
Oh, thank you. No words. You know, I always just like anyone else competing in any beauty pageant. I always try to really see, the good in everyone competing. Because let's face it, it's not really easy to compete and set yourself out on stage and ready yourself be judged not just by the judges but everyone from around the world watching the competition. So so we should really give credit more
Yes.
to girls like you who really give such a huge amount of time to really do well and prepare for a pageant like Miss Universe. So you know there's no doubt that yeah, we're so in love with the way I really think the reason why you made it to top 16 is because of the way you speak, of your personality. Everyone, it's really brimming, even with this interview right now. It's really evident that you really have a way with words. But let me ask this question. Where do you think you performed the highest during
I
Miss
think
Universe?
I think definitely I felt like I performed the highest at the interview, but that's not something that's televised, so all of you would not be able to see that. But I was nervous for the interview because it was only 3 minutes long, and with these amazing judges from all over the world, like Adriana Lima, she's a Victoria's Secret model. So all these amazing people were coming down for just to speak with me for 3 minutes. So I was a bit nervous going into the interview, but I think when before I went in there, I just told myself, just be yourself. Just don't try to fake it. Answer authentically, answer genuinely. And once I went in there, it didn't feel like an interview. It felt like I was just having a fun conversation with friends, because they asked me a question, I would just answer, happily. So it really felt like it didn't feel like a job interview, because some people might think they're going to ask you very difficult questions and stress you out, but that's not what they did with me. They just asked me about my hair, about my roommate, about my experience, and what some pieces of advice I would give to any young girl from Singapore. So it was a very genuine and authentic conversation, and that's why it felt like this kind of Instagram live. I just felt like we were conversating and chatting. So I think it went really well. And I think that's why, the judges saw that I am a bit different from the rest of the girls. But other than that, I think I did really well from my preliminary swimsuit, because I had so much excitement and energy stored inside me, because we had been waiting for 2 weeks for this day, for the preliminaries day. So I had so much adrenaline and energy. And that was the first time we were going on stage to compete. So I put 101% of energy into that. So I thought I did really well for that, and I was really excited when I was doing it. I enjoyed every moment of it. So I thought my swimsuit walk also went really well for the preliminaries.
What about your evening gown?
I think my evening gown, I was a little bit more nervous than my swimsuit, because I was worried I might trip on the gown. Because if you watch the whole show for the preliminaries, there were some girls who had some difficulty with their gowns. They slipped on the gown or they fell down. So once I saw that happen, I got a little
Yeah.
bit nervous, especially because I had this um, huge puff of glue on one side.
Yes.
It's a different weight on both sides. It's not a very light gown. It was a bit heavy. So I got a little bit nervous. So when I first walked down the stairs, because the Miss Universe stage had like 2 steps that we had to step down. So you could
Yes.
see on my face, I was a little bit nervous. But once I got down the steps, I was like, okay, the hardest part is done. Now I just have to be confident and show to the judges that I'm happy to be here and that I'm confident, that I'm excited. So even though I did really well for my evening gown, I was a little bit nervous, just a little.
Yeah. So I wonder if you had a hand in choosing your gown for the preliminary competition, and would it have been the same gown that you will be wearing that you would be wearing had you advanced to top 10?
I think we did have a conversation with the designer of the gown. His name is Frederick Lee. He also made my national costume. So we were thinking, what color should the gown be? What features should it have? And the first thing we thought of immediately was Pia Watsberg's final gown. Do you remember this really
Blue.
blue gown that she wore? So we were thinking we also want a very, very distinct blue. So if you see, my gown is kind of a similar blue to her gown. So that was our inspiration for the gown, that we wanted a very standout color. So Pia Watsberg was our inspiration for the gown. And we left it to the designer actually to think of an amazing gown design. We didn't want it to be like a gown that had been seen before. So that's why it's such a unique gown, because we let the designer go, wild. We let him explore his imagination on this gown. That's why it's such a unique gown. And so we helped decide the color and a little bit of the design elements, but it's really the designer Frederick Lee who put his like 100% effort into this and made that beautiful gown.
It was very couture for me and very high fashion. Yeah, I think it really made you stand out because everyone was always wearing sequin dresses, nude, silver, see-through gowns. But you look so refreshing with that gown. And contrary to what you were thinking, Marlon here is saying, no, Miss Nandita, I like your end pose in the evening gown. So they still remember even your poses. If you were nervous, you probably didn't show it. It wasn't that obvious.
That's good. That's good.
So you were really trained by the best.
I hope the nervous doesn't show on my face. I hope I still look, excited and happy. And you know how I said that there was a lot of preparation for the walks. This is one thing, especially the end pose, because there was a puff on.
Yes.
I couldn't pose with this side because then the puff would cover my face. So I had to only pose on this side. So there's a lot of things that we have to think about in order to make sure that the pose ends up nice, the dress ends up nice. So it's a long process to come up with all these things.
Yeah, you really have to study all these things, to really, you really have to be mindful of these things so that, you won't regret anything that you perform on stage. That everything that you did was carefully studied with the members of your team. So, after the evening gown, you also mentioned about your national costume. You were so divine in it. I think it was your national costume was a representation of your national flag.
So
I assume because it's color red.
Yes. So the colors red and white are Singapore's national flag colors. So that's why those were the colors of the national costume. And if you zoom in to the pictures, I think I'll be posting some pictures up close of the national costume. It was a hand-drawn map of Singapore. So you could see all the little hand-drawn. So there was a cartoon artist who made these beautiful hand-drawn pieces of Singapore. And so if you're from Singapore, if you've been to Singapore, you will notice all the different icons of Singapore, like the Marina Bay Sands, the Singapore Eye. Yes, so if you zoom into that, it's not just a floral design or whatever. There is a hand-drawn map of Singapore. You can see Sentosa, you can see the HDBs, you can see all the different things that make Singapore, Singapore. So that was a very meaningful national gown to me. And I think what was important to me was that the national costume should really resonate with the people from that country. The people in that country should feel like, yes, this is a national costume that represents Singapore. That was the most important thing to me. And so when we showcased all the little things that made Singapore, truly Singapore, that's why I really love this costume. And I think the Singaporean public also generally liked it. Sometimes the Singapore public like to complain and make fun of the national costume, especially some of the previous years. But I think they really liked this one. I was very excited for it.
It looks so high fashion. I feel like, with all, I've been noticing it. I feel like Singapore is the French capital of Asia in terms of fashion.
And like you said, this is definitely something Miss Valerie Lim is trying to change about the pageant scene. It's not just pretty girls and very simple gowns. It's really fashion and changing the scene. So that's something, that's different. Once it's been taken under my national director, that's where we're going with it.
Yeah, that's nice. So now that we've covered your evening gown, your prelims performance, so can you tell us, like, what was going through your mind during rehearsals and until the announcement of top 16. Because you remember, I remember you said that you were so confident that you would make it to top 16, just basing it from your preliminary closed door interview. But then you probably got shaky because of your evening gown performance 2 days later. Um, so I wonder, how were you still feeling about it? Because I feel like you're 50-50 with
Yeah.
your entire performance. So what was going through your head during the rehearsals while you guys were rehearsing all your blocking, staging, and the brutal cuts from top 16, 10 to 5?
So when we were rehearsing, I think the number one feeling that I was feeling was that I hope I get to do this actually. Because when you're rehearsing, they're going to call some random countries so that, everyone gets a
Yes.
chance to rehearse. So I was hoping that whatever I rehearse here, I hope it really happens. I hope I actually get to hear Singapore called for the top 16. So, and it happened. So I'm really grateful that that happened. But during rehearsals, I mean, everyone was feeling nervous and worried because every girl over there has put in so much effort to be there. Every single girl wants to get into that top 16. So it was really, we all shared our worries with each other. We all talked to each other. We all calmed each other down. We all uplifted each other. If you were backstage, you would see us all holding hands, telling each other that we worked so hard to get here. We're so proud to be here, and that we love each and every one of us here. Like we were literally holding hands and supporting each other. So that was what was happening during rehearsals and the backstage. Because I've said this before as well, but um, everyone thinks it's a competition and that we all might hate each other or we don't want each other to succeed. But really, it's about supporting every single woman, because that's what Miss Universe is about. It's about empowering women, it's about giving them a chance. So even if I don't make it, I want all the other women around me to be strong, to make it in their lives. So we really support each other and care about each other. So if you were backstage, you would have seen we all just care about each other and love each other. And we were all, even though we were all nervous,
Yeah.
we were all, just we were all getting through it together. I think that's what's important, that we were all in this together.
So do you still remember your conversation with, for sure you must be coordinating or talking to your national director, Miss Valerie Lim, even all about these tiniest details before the finals night was about to begin. So did you feel like, Miss Valerie, I think I really have a shot. I think Miss Valerie, is it really 50-50? So
How
yeah.
did I? So after my interview, I remember texting my national director and telling her that the interview went well. I feel pretty confident about it. And even after the preliminaries, I told her that, I put in my 100% effort. I think I did the best that I could. But even though I did the best that I could, I was still a little hesitant. I wouldn't say I was like, I'm going to get top 16. I was like, I hope I get top 16. I really want to. I really hope for it, because I would say I was still a bit nervous because there are some other countries, who were doing amazing, like India, Paraguay. There were other countries who were doing so amazing. So I was still a little nervous. Would I make it into top 16? But I was very confident with my performance. I was very happy with it. I think that's what's most important, that I felt good in the way I performed, and I felt content with the way I performed because I did put in all the effort that I could, and it paid off. So I'm happy for that. But but my national director was very supportive. She would always text me and call me and tell me that I'm doing well, just to keep pushing through, just to keep going. And I really appreciated that she took the time out of her day to care about me, to focus on me, even though she has 101 things going on. She put aside that time to talk to me. So I really appreciate her a lot.
So can you tell us what was going in your head the moment you were slowly walking towards Steve Harvey? Because
Oh,
Iski Babes is saying here, your reaction was when you were called by Steve was definitely something to remember. It really made me cry.
I think it made me cry as well. I was so emotional. I mean, I didn't cry, but I was feeling so many emotions at once, because when I got called, the first thing that went through my head was, did he make a mistake? Did I actually hear Singapore? Because I was so nervous, and the fact that it actually happened. So while I was walking down, I was just thinking, oh my God, is this really happening? Am I really here on stage? So that was what I was feeling, and I had so many emotions. There was excitement, there was nervousness, there was content, there was like I can't even name them all. There was just so much going on, and I think everyone remembers that I couldn't even stand properly because my legs were shaking, because
Yeah.
I was so excited, and I didn't. Although I wanted it so badly, I truly did not expect it because I knew that I put in so much effort, but I also knew that there were so many other girls in the crowd who I thought would make it into top 16. And so when I made it, I was just so happy and my legs were shaking, and it took me a few seconds to calm down and say, okay, Steve, I'm ready for your question, because he was looking at me and waiting for me to calm down. So it was really a magical moment. And I never thought I'd be standing next to Steve Harvey, but it happened, and it went by so fast. I was just so happy with all of it.
Yeah, that was really priceless. And part of the reason why it was so special, because I think you were the first Asian to be called.
Yes.
Because let's face it, we were expecting, girls like Miss India, Philippines to be called first, but then Singapore, it was like, whoa, what a surprise! But all of a sudden, we were like, yes, 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 Southeast Asian nation represents. So, like, the first thing I did was really post it on my IG story and tag Miss Valerie. Wow, Singapore made it after more than 30 years. So, and then Japan followed. So, all the more like, oh my God, this is really happening. So many Asian countries who haven't been called before are making a huge comeback right now, right?
Yeah, it's definitely it's an amazing experience to see so many Asians out there, because sometimes people don't think that Asians can make it in the beauty scene. There's a lot of I know there's a lot of support for the Latina countries sometimes, so it's really nice to see that there's a lot of Asian girls up there who are really strong, who are really powerful, and it was very exciting because the first name that was called was France, I think, and then the second
Yes,
was
France.
Colombia. So
And then Puerto Rico,
after
Colombia.
Colombia, and
Yeah.
then it was me. So after I heard France, Colombia, I was thinking, will they call Singapore? It seems like it's all the big sash countries, all the strong sash countries. So I was getting nervous. I was thinking, would they call Singapore? And then he says Singapore, and I was like, oh my God, he called my country. So that's why I was so surprised when it happened.
Yeah. I mean, you truly must have made a huge impression during, because they always say that the the closer preliminary interview is the composes a huge chunk of your entire score for the finals night. So you must have really done so well there. Yeah. So with the having said that, I think would you advise girls that they should focus more on training for their Q&A rather than their pasarela
I
in
think
order to get the top 16, especially if you're coming from countries who don't have that huge sash factor based from your experience?
I think it definitely helps if you improve your, Q&A and your interview skills, because the way Miss Universe looks for girls is changing over the years. They're looking for women who can speak and who can really contribute back to society. It's not just about the way you look anymore. So I think it's becoming very important that you know how to speak, you know how to, communicate your thoughts and ideas, and that you can connect with people, that you don't feel nervous when you're put in a new situation. Because I mean, we're seeing our current Miss Universe, Miss Harnas Sandhu. We're seeing she's doing so many interviews, she's speaking with so many people. And if she didn't have good interview skills, she would be so lost and afraid if she had to do all these things, right? So I think it's definitely very important that if anyone who wants to join pageants, if you're watching, definitely train your Q&A skills. I think it's very important. But it's also important to be a well-rounded, whole package. So do train your passerella, walk, train your walk, be confident when you walk. Don't be afraid of, don't like focus on your insecurities and think, oh, people are looking at me, people are going to judge my thighs or my hips or something. It's really important to just don't care about what people think, don't care about what they say. You are a beautiful woman no matter what you look like. I genuinely truly believe this, that just walk on stage, be confident, and train yourself as an all-rounded human. Don't just focus on one thing. It's important to be beautiful and confident in everything. That's what I believe in.
That's a great advice, because there are some viewers here who are asking this question. What would you advise to those girls who would like to join but lack self-confidence? So yeah, you already answered it. Yeah, that you still have to go on despite your insecurities, despite your imperfections. From Michael Cruz, he says, I pinned it.
I
Wait, I
see.
couldn't read. I couldn't see the entire message. You were so composed and focused answering Steve's question. You have answered very on point, giving us information about Singapore's status in Miss Universe for the past 30 years. So was it a conscious effort for you to, you know, um, to know
Mention
all
that.
these trivia or country pageant information tidbits?
So yes, so before I went to Israel for the pageant, I was doing a little bit of a study session. I was reading all the previous pageant information, all the things that had happened for Singapore, and also learning things about Singapore so that because when you go and meet people from all over the country, all over the world, they often ask you, "Tell me about Singapore. Like, tell me some fun facts about Singapore." So I think it's very important to know about your country so that you can be a good ambassador and share about the country and get people to come to your country as well. So if anyone's watching and thinking, where should I go for my next vacation? Come to Singapore. I'll show you Singapore. I'll take you everywhere. So Adam, I don't know if you come to Singapore before, but you should come. I will take you here.
I've been there like
Huh?
more than 3 times already
Okay.
uh,
So you're
in the last
experienced.
2 decades.
Okay.
2006, 2007. The last time I visited, 2011 and 2012.
Okay. But it's been a while. It's been
It's
about
been a
10
while.
years. So
Because you
you
know
should
what?
come back.
Because I've been there 4 times in the last during when it was around 2012. That was like my fourth visit in 6 years. I was like, okay, I'm getting used to seeing Singapore already. So I think I have to not to. I don't want to go back here again for the next 20 years. So that if I come back again, I will see something new. Because the reason why people were going to Singapore was because of the newly opened Marina Bay Sands and even the garden, right? The botanical garden, and everyone wanted to see it. So, yeah. So, but hopefully now that I'm kind of close with Miss Valerie, maybe I could cover Miss Universe Singapore in the near future.
That's great. I'm so excited. I hope you come.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, they've been egging me to come, but it's just that because of even COVID situation. So you know what, everything that you have been revealing to us about how important the closed door interview really says about what a girl needs to focus on if she really wants to make it to Miss Universe. Yeah, interviews, and all these crucial events. So do you think were you also mindful of the sponsor visits that you guys
Uh-huh.
were participating in, especially if those girls who were being pulled out for special photo shoots? Is it something that we fans or even candidates are not being called for those special photo shoots should worry about?
I think there's nothing to worry about because those sponsors and photo shoots are just extra things. They are not graded, it's not part of the Miss Universe scoring. It just so happens that the sponsor thinks a certain girl fits their brand, fits their look. And it's definitely very fun to do those, don't get me wrong. So I think there's nothing to worry about if you don't see your favorite contestant in those photo shoots. It's completely fine. It's okay because those are just some additional fun things that happen during the contest. So don't be worried about that. Don't be stressed about that. And I didn't do much of the sponsor items. I think I just did one no makeup photo shoot, which I thought was very meaningful. So it's okay if you don't get to do them. It's a very fun experience.
Yes. And wait, before we proceed. Oh, Miss Valerie Lim is
This
watching.
year,
Hi, Miss
Valerie Lim.
Valerie. Wow. Thank you for allowing me to interview Miss Nandita right now. I really having a great time here, reliving, reminiscing her Miss Universe journey, and hopefully, who knows, I could come there to cover Miss Universe Singapore one day. Thank you so much. So, now that we're talking about the sponsor activities, what was your favorite activity during the entire competition?
That's a very good question because I liked all of it. But my favorite activity was when we went to Arad. So it's this a little town in the middle of Israel, and we got to do activities that were native to the Bedouin population.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I was there with Miss Philippines. We wore these traditional costumes that had some red design on it. I'm not sure if you remember, but maybe I'll post the picture
Yes,
later.
yes, I
Yes,
do. I do. You were,
yes. So
what do you call that clothing? It looks like a robe. right?
Yes, it looks like a robe. I don't remember the exact name, but it was the traditional costume of that region. And I thought that experience was very meaningful, and it was one of my favorite ones because we got to see what the traditional living was like, and we got to eat the traditional food and wear the traditional clothing. So it wasn't just fashion and sightseeing. It was really meaningful that we got to experience that, especially with the local people. So I really love that because I love meeting new people. I love seeing the authentic culture of that country. So I really had fun with that experience and seeing all the girls dress up in the robes, especially Miss Philippines. It was really fun.
Yeah, I really think so. If I were also a contestant, I would also be so thrilled to be part of that activity because you really get to experience the culture
Yes.
of your host city. Is that what do you call it again? The Bedouin
Bedouin,
experience?
yes.
Yeah,
Bedouin
Bedouin experience. Yeah, where you really, took time to really get to know the tradition, their culture. At one point, you guys were even dancing
Yeah,
together, group
yes.
dancing with the locals there, and even
Mhm.
partake food. Yeah,
Yes.
that's with
So there
one
were so many
another.
activities.
It's really one way to soak in if you really want to learn
Yeah,
the
yeah,
culture
for
of your
sure.
host country, right? But apart from that, I also like I think you also had a moment there in the ATV tour. Just
Yes.
so Miss Universe took a shot of you, enjoying your ride with I forgot who you were with.
I was with Miss Laos.
Yeah, so like wow, she's really having fun. She wasn't looking
That
at the
was fun.
camera. She wasn't conscious. She was just minding her own thing. Well, yeah, I thought that I think that was your first day in ALAT, right?
I think it was our one of first or second day in Eilat. I think so, and I was very scared because I had never done an ATV ride before, and I don't know how to drive. So I asked Miss Laos, please help drive for me because I'm very scared. And so she was very kind. She drove me around, and it was really fun being with her. She's such a sweet girl. I love her so much.
Oh, that's nice. I thought yeah, that was also one of the fun things that you guys did. Did you also go to the Dead Sea tour?
That wasn't my group. Some other girls went to the Dead Sea while we
Uh,
went to the ATV and things like that. So it was different groups of people going to different places.
but you know what? The whole, you know what? But you know what? I really truly appreciate that none of you, since all of you arrived there in ALAT, no longer got sick with COVID-19. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, of course, apart from his friends, right? So I don't know if you agree with me, but based from my observation, since I assume Eilat is very far from the capital city, Jerusalem, the entire Miss Universe organization was totally able to isolate you all from the rest of the people. So that's why they weren't exposing you too much on public activities. If there was, it was just limited and very controlled. That's just
I
my
think so.
opinion.
That's one way to look at it. I think we also were wearing masks all the time, and we were changing masks, 2 3 times a day. Miss Universe was providing us with so many masks, and we were doing PCR testing. The testing that goes inside your nose. We were
Yes.
doing that every 2 days. So I think Miss Universe was taking a lot of precautions to make sure that none of us get COVID at Miss Universe. They were very strict about it. We weren't allowed to take off our masks unless we were taking pictures. So it was very important for us to stay safe and stay healthy, especially after we saw what Miss France went through. It was a very painful experience that she had to stay inside quarantine for so long. So we didn't want that to happen again to any of the girls, especially so close to the finals.
So I assume since you guys were always wearing masks all the time, so was there a conscious effort to make your eye makeup stand out? Because
Yes, yes.
most of the time your makeup from the nose down will be covered because of the mask. So is there a conscious effort for you guys to really, make an effort in really doing your eye makeup just because?
Sometimes Sometimes, if we were a bit lazy, we would do just the makeup here and very light makeup here and then put the mask on because it's very tiring to do our makeup every day. Or if we're just going down for breakfast, you would see the makeup here would be amazing, and here it would be just a bit light and not so amazing because we were going to be eating anyways, we're going to have our mask on anyways. So that's something that did happen.
But you know what? Apart from the fact that I think that they were able to contain and control your activities there in ALAT, which prevented you from contracting COVID-19. I also like how you all were so close with one another. I
Yes.
feel like this is one of the few batches in Miss Universe that there's no drama, there's not much drama or cat fights or anything happening on the side when
Yes,
it comes to all the contestants.
I think definitely I mean, we were all so nervous coming into this, and we had all put so much effort into it. I think it was very easy for us to bond with each other and make friends because all of us were just open to that. We weren't thinking that this is a competition. I'm not going to talk to anyone. We genuinely wanted everyone to do well. We genuinely wanted to make friends. We because to me at least, the most important thing about Miss Universe is that you make these friendships that last for life. You make these connections with people all over the world, and I think that's what's the most important thing about Miss Universe, showing that no matter where you come from, we can all be friends. We can all be supportive of each other. We don't have to fight. We don't have to get political. We don't have to have drama. So I think that's what Miss Universe is about, and I think we really got to embrace that. And that's why I made so many friends, especially with the Asian girls, Philippines,
Yes.
Nepal, Vietnam, and India as well. So I think it was really fun, really exciting, and I hope I can see them again in real life. It would be so fun to go visit them. But let's see. Let's hope the COVID situation, goes down a bit. Let's all stay safe, and then I am already planning my year-end vacation to go visit them.
So let's finally talk about them. Speaking of friends, I think that's what they have been waiting for ever since this interview started.